This is the story of Maya Rivers, who had to lose everything to find herself. Have you ever noticed how something happens in the world, no one fully understands it, but everyone talks like they do? People pass judgments without facts, blame spreads faster than truth, and the pain of one human becomes entertainment for the rest. This is what happened to Maya. Don't blink. This story might just change how you see the world. This is not a story of heartbreak. It's a story of remembrance, of a woman who found herself after forgetting she even existed. A love story that left her behind her dreams without her knowing. She forgot when she stopped writing, when she stopped asking for more. She convinced herself love meant sacrifice, but no one told her. Sometimes sacrifice becomes self-erasure. Maya Rivers, a soulful, intelligent woman who once dreamed of changing the world through her love for art. Before she was a wife, before she was a mother, before she became part of Eli's world, she was Maya. She wrote poetry under streetlights. She painted pain in colors. She never wanted to disappear. But love has a strange way of asking for pieces of you. She lost herself in love of the life she thought would stay the same forever. Sort of happily ever after. She had no clue of the storm brewing inside her. She met her soulmate, or at least she thought of him as her soulmate. Someone you don't want to live without even for a second for rest of your life. That was Eli. Eli Storm, a charming, world-famous actor, deeply ambitious, always in the spotlight. He was the world's golden boy, Eli Storm, the man everyone wanted, and she became the woman standing quietly beside him, smiling for cameras, hiding her silence. 'Cause the world only saw her through his light. Not because he asked her to. She thought, those women are acceptable to the society, who dedicate themselves for family. She had everything one can dream of, not only homes, cars, a booming career with a promising future, but also beautiful children and a very loving husband. When her children grew up and they were all set to take and start building their own lives, this opened a new chapter in Maya's life. She had spent years being their everything, now they were grown, and she didn't know who she was anymore. She had been a mother, a wife, a caretaker, but when no one needed her, she realized she had forgotten how to need herself. They call it the empty nest, but for her, it felt more like an empty soul. Even silence begins to feel heavy. She realizes, this isn't life, this is survival. The house was still full, but the noise was gone, and with the silence came questions she had never dared to ask. It wasn't loneliness, it was something deeper, the haunting question. What's left of me when they're all gone? For years, she filled others' cups. When the silence came, she realized hers had been empty for far too long. And in the stillness, she began to hear a voice she hadn't heard in years. That was voice of her own. She wanted to scream at the top of her lungs, but she couldn't even figure out why. Voices in her head were getting louder and louder, and she was trying her level best to shut them down. She wanted everything to be perfect in her surroundings. Something just didn't feel right. Focusing all her energy and dedication to one and only. She would take few deep breaths, calm herself down and forget about it for some time. She was never going to jeopardize anything or anyone because of her. She was supposed to be the woman who could fix it all. She stopped creating. She stopped dreaming. She stopped asking what she needed. She was once a fire, wild, creative, and unafraid. She had dreams of art, expression, freedom. Then love came along, not just any love, but the kind that rewrites your plan. Deliberately, his husband's plans are now her plans. This is how she would earn respect in the society and love of her husband. Maya got so busy in her high demanding as wife of a rich and famous husband, it never crossed her mind that once she had some dreams. The goal of her life was to make sure everyone and everything around her is well taken care of. Her kids were her priority and her focus was Eli. She had been a mother, a wife, a constant support system. But now, no one asked her how she was. She didn't even ask herself. A superstar family they had was everything the world adored. But behind the closed doors of gold, Maya began to dim. But still, she kept it all to herself. She didn't scream. She didn't explode. She started working on it quietly from the inside out. Long walks became her escape. Long drives, her therapy. She'd give herself a tough love pep talk behind the wheel, part scolding, part prayer. She was learning not how to escape her feelings, but how to accept them. Eventually, Maya did something bold. She took time off from everything, from pretending, from performing. She stopped running her house like a palace and started treating her soul like a home. And when she admitted to herself that she was deeply unhappy, she didn't just walk away. She prepared her people. She prepared herself. She read about her personality. She realized she had dreams. She had ambitions. She was not nobody. She was Maya Rivers. A whole human being. She sat down with her children not as their mother, but as a woman. She told them the truth. That she wasn't breaking apart, she was breaking open. That she needed space, not to run, but to rebuild. She sat with Eli too, and it wasn't a fight. It was clarity. It was the moment she stopped being a role and started being real. She made sure that no matter what happened, they wouldn't collapse as a family. And so, she began a quiet retreat, a few years of searching, sorting, remembering. It wasn't a separation of love. It was a reunion with herself. Time didn't heal her. What healed her was truth, one slow truth at a time. She stopped chasing who she used to be. That woman was gone and that was okay. She was building someone new now. She began creating again, not for the world, not to impress, not to prove, but because something inside her was blooming again. She learned how to say no without guilt. She learned that her worth didn't come from what she gave others, but from what she kept for herself. People asked her if she was okay, and for the first time in years, she could say, "I'm not perfect, but I'm whole." Her story didn't end with a dramatic exit or a sudden transformation. It ended quietly with peace, with acceptance, with a woman looking in the mirror and saying, "I see you now." And maybe that's the bravest thing she ever did. She didn't run from her pain. She faced it. She rose through it. And in doing so, she proved all right. Maya didn't leave with anger. She didn't burn bridges. She parted ways with grace. Because walking away doesn't have to mean walking against. They told her leaving a marriage is failure. They called her selfish. They called her weak. But the truth is, she was neither. Maya didn't break a family. She broke a lie. And in doing so, she walked toward truth, the kind that Allah always honors. We are not here to suffer silently. We are here to rise with truth, with grace, and with God.